When the world began, it was divided between Takamagahara, the heavens, and Ashihara no Nakatsukuni, the earth. Many gods came to be in the heavens, but the earth remained a formless, chaotic mass, much like drops of oil floating on water, or jellyfish drifting aimlessly. The gods in Takamagahara charged Izanagi and Izanami, the first male and female pair of gods to be born, with giving the world form and creating the deities that would populate the heavens and the earth. After creating the islands that make up Japan, they set to creating the myriad gods. Everything went well at first. The gods of the sea, the winds, the trees, the fields, and the mountains were all born at this time. Then Izanami gave birth to the fire god Kagutsuchi, and she suffered horrible burns that caused her to fall ill and eventually die. Izanagi buried Izanami on Mount Hiba, which is on the border of Izumo and Hoki, and her spirit descended to Yomi no Kuni, the underworld. Now that Izanami was gone, Izanagi missed her terribly. He decided to make the journey to Yomi no Kuni and bring her back. He followed the dark path to its gates, where Izanami came out to greet him. Izanagi said, "My dear Izanami, our creation of the world is unfinished. Come back with me, so that we may complete what we have begun." To which Izanami responded sadly, "I want to go with you, but you're too late. I have already eaten of the food of this land, and I can no longer go back with you." Then, giving it some further thought, she said, "You came all the way here to bring me back, and I really do want to go back with you, so I'll talk to the Lord of this land about it. You have to wait here while we're talking, and you must not look in on me." Izanagi agreed, and for a while he waited patiently. But he finally got to a point where he could wait no longer, and breaking a tooth off of the comb he had in his hair, he made a torch and entered Yomi no Kuni. When he at last found her, he was shocked by her appearance. She was rotting and crawling with maggots, and 8 hideous gods of thunder were hanging on to her body. Terrified, Izanagi decided to flee from Yomi no Kuni back to the land of the living. "I told you not to look, and yet you ignored me! You will pay for the shame you have caused me!" shouted Izanami, and ordered the evil hags of the underworld to chase after him. Izanagi ran as fast as he could, but they started to catch up with him, so he threw his hairband on the ground behind him. It grew into a wild grapevine plant loaded with grapes. The hags could not help but to stop and eat the grapes, and Izanagi fled on. However, they ate more quickly than he expected, and soon were close to catching him again. So now he broke another tooth off of the comb in his hair and threw it on the ground. Bamboo shoots grew in the spot, and once again the hags stopped to dig them up and eat them. Izanagi fled on. Izanami then ordered the gods of thunder and an army of spirits of the underworld to chase after Izanagi. As they closed in on him, Izanagi took his sword from out of its sheath and swung it around furiously behind him as he continued to run on. It was of no use, as they continued to get closer and closer. But the entrance to the underworld, Yomotsu Hirasaka, came into view before him, and at its base there was a peach tree growing. Izanagi plucked 3 peaches off the tree, and turning to face the army of the underworld, he threw them at his pursuers and drove them back into the depths of the underworld. Not to be discouraged, now Izanami herself came chasing after Izanagi, so he took a great boulder and rolled it in front of the entrance to Yomi no Kuni, forever separating it from the land of the living. Now standing on opposite sides of the boulder, Izanami and Izanagi said their final farewells. First, Izanami said, "Izanagi, for the shame you have caused me, every day I will kill 1,000 inhabitants of this world you cherish so much." To which Izanagi replied, "If you do that, I will create 1,500 people every day." And they never saw each other again. After parting from Izanami, Izanagi bathed himself to wash away the impurities of the underworld. Many gods were created during this purification ceremony, but most importantly, as he was finishing bathing, 3 gods were born. The sun goddess Amaterasu was born when he washed his left eye, and the moon deity Tsukuyomi was born when he washed his right one. When he washed his nose, the god Susano-O was born. Izanagi was pleased with his children, and gave them each a realm to rule. To Amaterasu, he gave Takamagahara, the heavens, to Tsukuyomi, the night, and to Susano-O, the seas. While Amaterasu and Tsukuyomi happily took control of their realms, Susano-O did not. He acted out, rebelling against Amaterasu and the other gods in Takamagahara. It got so bad that he was driven out of Takamagahara and banished to Earth.